Hi, I'm Tony Deering, and welcome to the fifth and final lesson. Today, we're going to talk about mental and social stimulation. They are both vitally important to cognitive health. To understand why, let me ask you this question. What is the most dangerous year of your life? It turns out it's the year after you retire. That's hard to reconcile with our idealized notion of retirement. After all, we dream of that day when we retire. Finally, that life of leisure. Kick back, put your feet up, take it easy,
and die. Statistically speaking, you are more likely to die the year you retire than any other year of your life. And even if retirement doesn't kill you, it can do a number on your cognition. Study after study has shown that in the first few years of retirement, our mental abilities can plummet. In European countries, where men typically retire early, cognitive performance was found to be significantly lower than in the U.S., where men work to a later age. Think about it. What do you lose when you retire? Well, a regular paycheck for one, but beyond that, there are a couple of other things. The first is the mental challenges a job presents us with. The second is the social interaction we get by working with colleagues and customers and clients. When those go away, the loss of mental acuity can be frightening. Now, the concern here isn't retirement. We're talking about mild cognitive impairment. But the effect can potentially be the same. It can cause you to withdraw, to become inactive and isolated, and less exposed to things that keep your mind honed. And that's the worst thing for you, because it can accelerate cognitive decline in exactly the way that retirement does. To combat that, you want to do the opposite. You want to seek out new ways to stimulate your mind and engage yourself socially with family and friends in fun, interesting activities. And it starts with cognitive stimulation. Use it or lose it. That's what the neurologists tell us. You need to exercise your thinking skills just like you need to exercise your muscles, or they wither away. How do you do that? The answer is any way you want, as long as it's something that's new and mentally challenging. In January, the Mayo Clinic released the results of a study that followed nearly 2,000 men and women over the age of 70 for a period of up to 4 years. What they found was that people who keep their mind active, such as using a computer or playing games or doing a craft, such as pottery, had a much lower risk of cognitive decline. For example, the risk went down by 30% with computer use, 28% with crafting activities, 23% with social activities, and 22% with playing games. The researchers said the best results seem to occur with activities that require you to use your mind to figure something out, and then manipulating objects to get some desired result. The study also identified how often it helps to undertake these kinds of activities. People who engaged in these sorts of things once or twice a week fared better. People who did them 2 or 3 times a month or less fared much worse. Dr. Paul Wright, chair of neurology for North Shore University Hospital, said these findings are critically important for people with MCI. He said, "We can actually tell our patients with mild cognitive impairment There is evidence now that if you stay mentally active, you will actually do much better than if you don't. Any activity that's new to you is good, but some can be particularly beneficial. They include learning new computer skills, learning a new language, or learning to play a musical instrument. These activities in particular have been shown to have wonderful cognitive benefit. So if you've ever had a hankering to do any of them, go for it. They're great for your brain. Now, let's move on to social stimulation. We know cognitive activity creates neural connections, but we also need to be concerned about human connections. The link between isolation and cognitive decline is clear and quite concerning. Here's what the Cognitive Vitality Program says. Staying connected with family and friends is important for brain health. Studies show those with the most interaction within their community experience the slowest rate of memory decline. According to Nancy Donovan of Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, lonely older adults are not only more likely to experience declines in mobility and physical limitations, they are also more likely to have memory problems and are at higher risk for dementia. So get up and get out. Make that effort to engage socially. Get involved in activities you enjoy that include other people. Join a bowling league, or a book club, or a bridge club, or a support group for that matter. One of the best ways to be socially active is to volunteer. A good volunteer opportunity can give you back a lot of what you gave up if you've quit working. It gets you out of the house. It presents mental challenges. It offers rich interaction with people, both your fellow volunteers and people you're serving. And there's one more really important thing that volunteering can give you: a sense of purpose, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. A number of studies show that having a sense of purpose in life can actually slow cognitive decline. Now, before we wrap up this lesson, I'd like to touch on two more topics. This learning experience would not be complete if we didn't address depression and stress. These can be overwhelming issues for people confronted by cognitive decline. They are, unto themselves, potential causes of memory loss. And if they go unrecognized and unchecked, they can greatly undermine your efforts to slow the decline of your mind. Depression is a common, reversible cause of cognitive decline. It can result in memory loss that looks like dementia, but isn't. The symptoms can include confusion, forgetfulness, or an inability to concentrate. If you're experiencing these things, your doctor can help you identify the cause, and if the cause is depression, you can be treated for that and your memory can improve. If the cause of your memory problem isn't depression, depression can still be a concern. Depression and mild cognitive impairment can occur together, and when they do, it's crucial that the depression be addressed. Studies have shown that about 25% of people with MCI also have depression. One important study looked at people with mild cognitive impairment who also had depression and found changes in a variety of brain biomarkers that pointed to an accelerated aging of the brain, which greatly increased their risk of having the MCI progress to dementia. So don't let depression go unchecked. Identify it and treat it. Much of what I just said about depression can also be said about stress. Stress is the condition of modern life. As a society, we are stressed out, and it is taking a toll on our health, not to mention our brain. Unchecked stress can be a cause of memory loss, and it can exacerbate memory loss. One recent study found that people who are prone to higher levels of stress were more than twice as likely to experience cognitive impairment as those who are not. There are relaxation and mindfulness techniques you can use to cope with stress. There are other ways to address it as well. Dr. Andrew Weil offers these 10 tips for reducing stress, including breathing, exercise, and meditation. There's a link to them in the lesson notes. As we conclude Lesson 5, the last of the lessons, let me leave you with one final thought. You are confronted with something difficult and frightening, and you are addressing it, so good for you. But whatever you do, try to do it in ways that give you happiness and enrich your life. In the words of Dr. Ronald Peterson, director of the Mayo Clinic Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, try not to withdraw. Try not to slow down intellectually. Stay engaged out there. Do things you enjoy, and it will be fun. If you enjoy doing something, do it, and do it avidly, because it might, in fact, be beneficial to you. That's the best advice anyone can give you. I hope you always remember it and embrace it. So congratulations, you're done. You've completed all 5 lessons on the pathway to better brain health. We've covered a lot of ground over the course of these lessons, and hopefully you've gained a wealth of knowledge that you didn't have before you started out.
But what do you do with it? Well, here's what I hope you don't do. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed by it. There's a lot here. But in that wealth of information are 1 or 2 nuggets that could be valuable to you. And I hope that's how you approach it. Go back over your worksheet. Review the fast facts. Talk to your family and your friends and your doctor. If you do that, I think you'll be able to identify 1 or 2 things that you want to work on over the next couple of months and give yourself the best possible chance of slowing down and perhaps even halting the cognitive decline that you're experiencing. If you have found the information in these lessons helpful, I invite you to sign up for my email newsletter. I'll keep you informed on the latest news and breakthroughs in brain health and offer you simple, science-based ways to defend yourself against cognitive decline. Now, this pathway is something that I look forward to continuing to build out. What I've given you here is a primer in the 5 fundamentals of brain health. As I continue to add information and resources to this site, I want to be as helpful as I can to you. In order to do that, I need your guidance. What additional information are you looking for? What questions do you have? What are your problems and concerns? Leave a comment on this post or send me an email using the link below. I look forward to hearing from you, and as always, be kind to your mind.